going on, everyone? So, today we have to talk about Bitcoin. We have just now gotten a rejection at 112K. I was actually talking about this in my previous video. So, we're going to talk about that today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice. Let's get straight into it. So, on my previous video, I mentioned how we were going to end up coming up here to this resistance at this Fibonacci at 112K after we had broken out of our channel. I was like, hey, we're probably going to get rejected. This is probably going to be seen as a false breakout. And so far, this is what it's seeming like, right? It could obviously return here and then you just continue to go in reverse. But as of right now, it is looking like that was a false breakout. You can even see here on the 4-hour chart with the %R trend exhaustion, we have the white line up here indicating the short-term trend, showing that the short-term trend is over-exhausted to the upside, and now it is curving down to the downside and selling off. And the long-term trend being the blue line, kind of doing the same thing as the short-term trend, turning back down to the downside. And you can also see the MACD is switching over to selling pressure as well. So we have selling pressure on the MACD, and we have a reversal here on the %R trend exhaustion to the downside. And we have a rejection at the Fibonacci resistance at 112K. So we have three things going against the Bitcoin, three things driving Bitcoin towards the bearish side. Okay. That's what you got to look at and realize here. So everything else inside the market is now currently pulling back because of Bitcoin. But altcoins are probably going to start breaking away from Bitcoin pretty soon. It is altcoin season. We are seeing altcoin season coming into effect. So we're probably not going to have to worry too much about altcoins. But at this moment, we are seeing Bitcoin pulling back and pulling everything down with it. So what are we also seeing inside of Bitcoin? We've seen in the last 30 days, we've pretty much been down a little bit in sideways because, we're down 3%. But you can see like we were up a lot earlier. We hit all-time highs in August 14th, and now we've been down since then. So the next thing I'm really expecting here for Bitcoin is the movement to the downside. But after that, I'm expecting a nice breakout after the movement to the downside. So where are we going to go towards the downside? So what I've already kind of established here is that 104K is that support that we're going to end up hitting, because that's our Fibonacci support down there. We're probably going to end up hitting that 104K support, just like we've hit the 112K resistance and got rejected to a T. So we're looking for 104K support here pretty much with Bitcoin. That is what I'm looking for next. And then if we were to break that, 99K is pretty much coming after that. And then we got 85K after that. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at here in Bitcoin. Just kind of making a short update showing what we're doing inside of Bitcoin currently now and what I'm expecting here for the near future inside of Bitcoin. So yes, we have gotten rejected. Now we are waiting for that level down here at 104K. So that's pretty much what we got going on in Bitcoin. This is just a 4-hour chart. Looking at the daily chart, the daily chart could tell you a whole different story. The daily chart is looking actually bullish right now, because if you look at the daily chart, we are down here and it's actually showing that we're about to cross here on the MACD, and the MACD is about to go back up towards the upside. That's what the daily chart is telling us. And then when we look at the MACD, it just looks like it's about to switch to buying pressure really soon. And then when you look at the %R trend exhaustion on the daily chart, it looks almost as if it wants to curve upwards, like it wants to go back into being bullish again. So that's kind of what we're seeing on the %R trend exhaustion too. So when you come over here and look at the 4-hour chart, you're looking slightly bearish because of these levels. But then when you come to the daily chart, it kind of gives you a different perspective and it makes you look a little bullish, because the MACD looks like it wants to turn back to the bulls. The bulls are starting to buy in. We're starting to see more buys coming in. The %R trend exhaustion looks like it kind of wants to curve to the upside. So that's the daily. But then when you look at the weekly chart, this is where you get the real bearish sentiment here. This is where the bears really start to take over when you see the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart here, you can see the %R trend exhaustion is overexhausted, overbought on the upside. We've already gotten the red bar signal, and we've also already gotten the red arrow signal. The red arrow indicates now we have a reversal to the downside. That's exactly what happened on that last reversal here, and you can see it there. And that's exactly what's happening on this reversal here. You can see it here happening in real time. So not only that, we also seen the same thing on the MACD when that happened. Now we're seeing the MACD do the exact same thing. We're seeing the selling pressure coming into the MACD on the weekly chart. So the weekly chart is looking bearish. The 4-hour chart is looking bearish. But when you come over here to the daily chart, we are looking slightly bullish. But what if we start to see those red candlesticks coming back in for the MACD, and we see the MACD stay in oversold territory for a longer time? Then we see a breakout. That is what might be happening here with the daily chart, because if we have the 4-hour chart being bearish, we have the weekly chart being bearish, and then we have the daily being slightly bullish, the daily might be the bull trap. Okay. Now, coming over here to the hourly chart. The hourly chart here is slightly bullish. So the hourly chart is looking bullish. The MACD is now showing us one little tiny signal here of buying pressure coming back in. Now that could easily be invalidated by more selling pressure, right? We see the buying pressure here, but it could easily be invalidated by more selling. The percent R trend exhaustion is now curving back upwards towards the upside. The short-term trend is all the way down here, oversold. Now it's coming back up. The long-term trend, halfway sold, coming back up again. So the hourly chart is showing a slightly bullish signal if it actually recovers. But this little lightly red shaded candlestick here could easily turn into a dark red one, and then it could continue to sell off from there. That's pretty much what I'm looking at here for the hourly. So the hourly, it's looking a little bullish, but it could switch into bearish very soon. Now, the 30-minute chart, slightly bullish, slightly bullish. We see the curvature upwards here for the percent R trend exhaustion, almost like it wants to revive. And then we see the MACD here switching to buying pressure, slightly bullish, slightly bullish. It could have a continuation and have more selling pressure come. That's why I say slightly, because I'm still going off the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart is just a little alarming, but everything else is looking bullish. Okay, so we are seeing some bullish territory here. The percent R trend exhaustion just now had a bullish reversal here at the bottom, so we're probably going to end up seeing some bullish activity there. We can see the MACD is also looking bullish. A lot of buying pressure now coming in for the MACD. So that's another thing you'd want to watch out for. So even the 15-minute is bullish. And then the 5-minute. The 5-minute is still a little bit bullish too. So, well, kind of. The short term on the 5-minute is bearish. The long term on the 5-minute, the short term is bullish here on the 5-minute. The long term is bearish here on the 5-minute. So we can see that reversal coming to the downside pretty soon. So I do think 108K is coming soon in Bitcoin, but overall Bitcoin's bullish. Let's be completely honest. Bitcoin is still bullish overall. All right, this is like a minor pullback area, minor setbacks for major comebacks type of thing. So I think a pullback to 104K is not too far-fetched, but a revival from a reversal really from here isn't too far-fetched either. But yeah, the one that really looks to be more concerning to me is this weekly chart. That's what I'm really paying attention to. But anyways, all in all, still bullish on Bitcoin. This is all I got for y'all today, though. I'll keep you all updated. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll be back with another video.